And now,
yes,
we have stars from the sky as guests here. British royalty.
Oh, I know what that means.
We have, this is a booking coup. This is incredible. I don't even know, like, I don't even have enough words. You're already seeing them on camera, so you just jizzed your pants. Please welcome.
Yes, go ahead.
Iain and Kath, how are you? Thank you so much for being here.
Pip, pip, guys.
Hello, mates.
Hello, Captain.
Hello, you assholes.
You got it. You got the American accent out.
We changed our name, but the name changed.
He says he changed the name. I think he put his down double hard.
Katherine and Iain.
Katherine and the boy.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Let's do that.
I think Keith has to do it. So
Keith can. There we go. I've done it.
I got you.
You did do it.
Catherine and the boy, pip, pip, tally ho.
I've been watching bits of this. I had my boys with me today, and they're 9 and 11, and we've been watching bits of this. And they're going, this is the show that we're doing. And then every time Candace says a motherfucker, I go, okay, well, that's enough, guys. Let's move on. Okay, let's go and play some Oculus. Let's go and play PlayStation. Come on, let's Fortnite. Let's kill people.
I am not always motherfucking good at
It's nice to see you two.
How are you still alive? What is this?
Are we alive? Maybe we're the Walking Dead. You don't know. We're about to turn into zombies, so
I
get your sticks ready.
To both of you, though.
How's it going with you? You guys are together.
Yeah.
She's my bubble. We're allowed bubbles
because he's a lonely single man. I'm allowed to be his support bubble to make sure that nothing bad happens to him.
So we're allowed to mix, but I'm allowed to have my kids who are next door, and Kath's allowed over, but that's it as far as it goes for interacting. We're great. We actually had a proper argument before, literally, as we were sat here. We had a proper argument where I wasn't in the wrong, and yet I apologized. Yeah. Katherine didn't apologize.
I didn't realize it was an argument. I thought you were just accepting you were wrong.
Then I said, I'm lucky to know you. And she went, yes, you are. And didn't say it back. Yet the argument was started by her.
It wasn't.
We'll be the judge. Tell us about the argument. We'll help you find out who's wrong. Because so far it sounds like Iain's wrong, and I'll tell you why. And I'm not gonna be biased, even though I totally believe that you're wrong. But the reason why I believe
because I wouldn't go out on a date with you, for Christ's sake. Come on.
I think that it's very interesting to come on and go, I was such a great person and I just forgave her and I didn't do anything wrong, but obviously I'm right. So
that's what people who mean apologies do all the time, right?
Set the scene.
Okay.
Set the scene.
We're sitting here 15 minutes before go time. It's very exciting. It's a little bit tense. I've had the first coffee of the day, so it probably wasn't the best time to start.
By the way, I appreciate your professionalism. First of all,
I've had shitloads of coffee. I got my voice here and I need it.
So, where do we start with the confession?
What?
The confession that you're back on eBay.
Okay, so you know I'm an addict, right?
Yes.
And I'm addicted to everything. And a few years ago, it dawned on me that I was spending too much money on eBay. So I gave Katherine my eBay login. And I said, if ever I need to buy, if ever I want something, I'm going to run it past you, and you can tell me if it's a need or a want, and then we can discuss. And she then has to buy it for me through my eBay account.
Oh, how fun for her!
Well, it really is.
I love being the fun police.
It really
love
is.
it.
But this weekend, I thought I'm 48
You're fine
years old
now,
this
right?
year. I'm cured. I am, 40 however odd days after I last used cocaine. I am cured from all of my addictions. I am taking back control of my eBay. So I've reset the password and I'm in there.
And how's that working out for you?
I bought a pair of glasses, not these ones, for £3.
Okay.
And £5,000 worth of CB equipment that will be useful at some point.
There it is. And I said, wow.
CB, breaker, 10-4. We got a rubber duck. Big Smoky coming up over the hill.
You know what? They're not allowing you to have phones anymore?
Apparently they're not good enough. Are you going to do this? Are you going to do the CB from your house or on the road?
I'm going to do it from my house to start with, and then I'm going to drive around. We're not allowed to drive at the moment. We're not allowed to drive unless it's for essential essential, unless it's for
sensual
sensual
reasons.
Unless there's an old person who's at risk and you have to go and pleasure them to help them get over the tough times.
I don't think that's one of the cures, but okay, I don't know if it's been tested.
I'm prepared to give it a go.
No one pulls you over in England, right? Like nobody, they just assume you're doing the right thing.
If they pulled me over, I could just, I'd say,
sure.
Come on, guys, the jungle, come on. And they go, sorry, sir, away you go.
Right. I'm a celebrity, right?
Yeah, I am.
So what was the argument about right before?
So then I said, wow, £5,000. I thought it was being extravagant buying the costumes I bought for our next extravaganza on Twitch the other day. Right? I don't want to do a spoiler because there are some of our people.
She bought me a Captain Kirk outfit, and I didn't want a Captain Kirk.
We're going to do Star
outfit.
Trek, right?
We're not. We're doing space,
right? I said
now it's become Star Trek.
I said we take it to space. I'll get you a Captain Kirk costume. What do you think? I'd WhatsApped him. Nothing. Next time I spoke to him, I said, "What do you think about the space idea?" Great. So I proceeded. Right. Apparently that was my mistake. I wanted like a cosmonaut outfit, like an orange jumpsuit and a plastic helmet. I don't want to be Kirk.
Did you mention that? Did you mention that, or did you just let her produce?
She's not the producer anymore.
No, but I am the costume getter.
I'm in charge of I'm running the technicals here. I got all the equipment.
Anyway, It doesn't matter.
And she won't let me call her daddy.
What?
You got to pay her more for that.
It's not good. So we actually had a proper row.
Wasn't a proper row. I didn't even get started. I think you should have said.
That's where I have my mistakes. I just have fights, not proper fights. I haven't crossed over into adulthood for proper fights.
No. But then so we're doing the show on Twitch, and if that doesn't work out, we are getting together a really tight Captain and Tennille tribute act. It is so good. We've got the hit down pat almost. So there's a lot of stuff going on.
Is this costume? Was this for your latest show, or
no? This is just what he wears. This is what he wears all the time now.
I just came back from admiraling the ship for Her Majesty,
and I thought I would join you and look like some kind of weird cabin boy. That's effectively what I am.
The games. If she wears a white blouse with that, she looks like
Adam. I do. I did it the other day and went, "Whoa, no, this is too much."
Now I gotta say, Iain, I follow you both on social media, of course. Iain has more of the breakdowns of obviously.
Thank you, Keith.
What do I do when I see that? Like, sorry, mates, no show today. It's the end of my rope. I'm slicing wrists. Am I supposed to give that a thumbs up?
Do not give it a ghost hug. I hate ghost hugs.
What is that? What is a ghost hug?
It's like a little gif of a ghost going, ghost hug.
You cannot see it, but it's there. It's people trying to be nice, but it just tips him over.
Right.
I don't know. The last big one was.
I'm sorry. Do you see how your partner has the microphone close to her mouth?
Can you not? She's got her gain up. There we go. Let me turn my.
It's mostly because to get a word in, I've got to be quick.
Is that better?
Yeah, it's perfect.
We got the effects.
That's perfect.
Under the sea.
Right. So what should somebody do when they see you're having a break?
And I tell you, my new favorite thing, right? I'll do it to you, Katherine, right? And because I'm thinking of becoming right wing, I just think that I want to be on the winning team for at least a part of my life.
I don't think they're winning anymore.
And
are they?
This is they always we're always going to win. So this is my new favorite thing to do, but you've got to be so careful. And your audience, okay. So Katherine, tell me how you're feeling emotionally, and make it kind of quiet down.
Well, it turns out I'm working with an absolute prick.
No, but don't be like that. Come on, tell us about your emotions during lockdown.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
Man the fuck up, Snowflake.
There it is. He enjoys that.
I love it. It feels so powerful.
Right.
You've got to say it with someone who knows where you're coming from. Otherwise, they will,
be upset.
Take their own life. But yeah, it's so empowering.
Right.
Being on the right.
Yeah. Is that what cheered you up?
Yeah, I think it is.
What are people supposed to do though when you're doing that?
It seems is it at least once a month that you have one of these? You fall in the pit.
It is. There's a lot going on. There's been a kind of drug relapse thing very recently, and I'm cutting down on my meds and stuff. It does happen a lot. I am trying. I think I have been sharing too much stuff, so I'm trying to share less and be a little bit more private about stuff. I don't know if that's the way to go, but that's kind of where my head is at the moment. I don't know, man. And I don't know what it looks like, and maybe I need to consider what it looks like to other people on the outside. I I don't know.
I think at the point at which it happens, you just want to get it out, right?
Yeah. I mean, the last one was when I was in rehab, and I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated it. It was horrible for me. What's
a good rehab?
I don't know. I'd never done one before, and I was this was a great place. This was a great place, and I was gifted it, and it was wonderful. It was a really nice place, but because of the COVIDs, you have to isolate for 10 days. So for the first 10 days, you're in there not really doing a lot. You see a counselor and you see that, but there's not really a lot. And I was kind of going nuts in there. And after 4 days, I checked out. And when you say you check out of rehab, everyone expects like a John Belushi. Oh my God, he's going to go to the bar and score crack. And it wasn't. I'd been in there 4 days. I'd prayed on it. I'd spoken to Katherine. I'd spoken to people in AA and NA. I'd written about it. I'd talked to the people there. And I knew it was the right thing for me was to get out. And I kind of learned quite a lot about myself and about why I'd started using drugs again and what I could put into place to kind of put the brakes on that.
Why did you do drugs again?
Loads of reasons. The main reason is I stopped going to face-to-face AA and NA meetings. I was doing it all online. As soon as COVID came in, I respected COVID more than I respected my disease. So I was doing it all on Zoom, and Zoom is great, but I wasn't getting the magic from the meetings. You know, last year was horrible and miserable, and I went a bit nuts with the lockdown. I got really scared. So it was primarily not going to face-to-face meetings, which I'm doing now, and realizing I think I hate the career that I have chosen and have been doing for the last 25 years, and feeling trapped within that. And both of those things I can work on.
Why do you hate it?
Fucking hell, man.
I know.
Because I have to work with dickheads all
No,
the
this
time.
is the bonus. You got the bonus prize with this. If you've got to do it, you might as well do it with me. I think that we kind of isolated a thing that's been at the core of a lot of his problems since like being quite young, didn't we? Is that he kind of seeks approval from strangers. And he's never going to be satisfied with it because it's from strangers, right? So it's not real to him. So when he gets it, he doesn't accept it, but he feels like he needs to chase it all the time anyway. And I think that that's part of the thing.
This is my best mate. I get to work with my best mate. Isn't that a gift, man? We get to piss around online all the time, and she still won't let me call her daddy.
No, well,
it's outrageous.
Well, you stay clean for a year, and you can call me whatever you want.
But won't that happen in every profession, is seeking approval, if that's just what your personality is? So isn't it, if you go to a regular 9 to 5 or whatever other, like go out into the sea or whatever outfit you're wearing, there's always going to be that seeking of approval. It's just going to be in a different way. Aren't you going to be the guy at the office who's entertaining, trying to get approval? Aren't you always going to find a platform?
Yeah, I guess possibly. I mean, here's the thing. I've started college. I'm retraining to be a counselor, like a therapist kind of thing.
What?
Yes, Keith. And you would be my first patient. I would fix you in 6 sessions.
Ooh, let's work on Keith.
I can see everything that's wrong with you, Keith. Everything that's wrong with you.
Go. You know what? You're an intern now.
Keith,
you got to do your first year.
Keith, how are you feeling today? Tell me what's going on today.
Oh, you're starting big. A feeling? Holy shit.
Oh, okay. He has 3, right? Isn't it anger, hunger, and horny? Is that?
Hang on a second. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it interesting what happened there? Let's just stop for a second, everybody.
Kenda told a joke. Stop the show.
I asked Keith how he was feeling. Kenda came in straight away, denied his feelings. Katherine backed her up. Isn't that interesting? Keith,
I'm not allowed to have my feelings.
Talk to me about that. Why are you not allowed to have your feelings?
It seems I try to have them, but other people seem to know better, so to speak. Right?
Keith, name one feeling.
What were they again, Katherine?
They're purple.
There's happy,
yeah,
angry, and sad, and then different variations of those 3.
Okay, maybe it'll take 10 sessions with you then. Maybe that's the way. But so that's what I'm in training, and I don't know if that's going to be a career or if I don't know what. But I just hate TV. I hate radio. I hate what it's becoming in this country, and I hate I just don't enjoy it. I don't enjoy it.
What has it become in your country? Is it just the right-wing stuff?
it's become right-wing bullshit. The station that we were on, and we would go on, and you were guests on there, and we would celebrate life, and it was inclusive, and we talk about mental health and addiction and silly stuff and nonsense, and we play silly games.
Yeah, it was stupid. What it wasn't was hateful. It wasn't inciting and stirring the shit.
Then we got kicked out. I got kicked out. Catherine kind of came with me, and then a couple of months later, the biggest clip on that station is one of the fucking idiot presenters cutting up a mask on air and on camera, going, "What we need to do to get this before the second wave that was never going to come. What we need to do is we need to get everyone back out there. If you're listening to this, you should be working at home. We need to cut these masks up." And that got like 10 million views, and that's the theme of the station. It's lockdown, COVID denying, it's conspiracy theory, but just on the right side of conspiracy theory to kind of be appropriate. It's racist and it's fear mongering.
Oh God, it's make Britain great again. It's that. It's that.
It sounds like it. What about you, Catherine? How do you feel about it? Like, do you want to change careers? Are you still interested in this?
I always had a plan, like from being a kid. I always had a plan when I was growing up. I knew I was going to be a journalist at some point. And that's what I did. And it was only like 6 years ago that I decided that to say yes to stuff rather than waiting to feel like I was ready to plunge into the unknown. And actually, I don't have a plan at this point. I'm quite happy doing what we're doing. I'll see what happens. I kind of realized that the rug can get pulled at any point, from working in radio. It happened to us twice. And so nothing's forever. I'm just going to get the most out of what I'm doing now. God knows what I'll do when, the Twitch thing goes, but I'll be all right. I've got skills.
The thing is, again, like with every job, you guys sort of got fired twice, but people get fired all the time from whatever career you're doing. The entire business shifts, or just the company that you work for just fires you for whatever reason.
I started having more fun when I stopped trying to preempt everything. When I stopped seeing the hurdles before they happen and thinking, no, I'm going to stay in the safe lane because X, Y, or Z might happen. I had much more fun when I went, you know what, this is happening now. I'm going to see where it goes.
Do you have one of the things I realized, I looking back, I stopped after looking back at 15 years. I didn't want to go any further. I could, in my entire career, there's probably 3 things that I'm proud of, 3 moments that I'm proud of. And that for me is not a very good hit ratio. And I wondered if we've not really talked about it your way around. Is that tally with you, or are there significantly more?
There are things that there are things I regret. We used to do like a comedy show on a local radio station, which was unusual in itself, not us, but me and someone else. And I think back to some of the jokes that we used to tell, and obviously they don't stand up now. And I'm not someone who would defend that kind of humor.
Is there anything you're proud of?
Yeah, I am. I think that I've always kind of acted in the way I thought was right. And when I was a journalist, I did that. I never stitched anyone up for a story. I never did anything like that because I was really keen to play with a straight bat when it came to stuff like that. I think it's important. Once people don't trust you anymore, it's gone. So I think I was always fair. And there are things that have happened to us when we've been working together, not awards and stuff, but the guy rang us up when he'd taken an overdose, and the way we handled it, I mean, God, it was absolutely unexpected and everything. But I feel really honored that someone would trust us to the extent where we're the one they call when they're lying at the side of the road. That's enough for me, that kind of stuff. It happens often enough to make me think that we're doing the right thing.
I don't want to blow smoke up your ass, although I'd literally love to blow smoke up both of your asses. I can't think of anything finer than pulling those chicks
That's what they used to do to drowning victims, to get them to breathe again. It would certainly, whoa, what the hell?
But you were the first people that treated me and Catherine as equals.
Yeah.
The first people, when we first came to your show, and we didn't know what the deal was. We didn't know really why we were there. And we were both going, well, are they going to talk to you? I don't know. Is it me? Is it you? And then there were 2 chairs, and you went to Catherine, if you sit there, Iain, no one, because I had been on telly. So telly makes me more important in the eyes of people. Obviously, it's wrong. Everyone would talk to me and no one would talk to Catherine, and you were the first people. So thank you for that.
I'm used to being the one who steps aside for photos, or I was used to being the one that's like, yeah, sure, you want to talk to him, that's fine. And
that gave us a real boost of confidence. So thank you for that.
Yeah,
that kind of
that meant the
kicked
world.
us up the arse.
Are you having a feeling there, Keith? Is that what that was?
This is like 7:40.
That was a happy. That
this
was
is
a happy
7:40 in the
feeling.
US. Is this a good time in the US? Because 7:40 in the UK is what we call shit time. It's not peak. I'm assuming in
I
America
don't do
it's-
7 a.m.
I'm assuming in America
Ever.
it's different, and this is the golden slot. This is a big slot over there. Am I right?
Morning is the bigger deal usually. Yes,
Yes.
Of course it is.
Of course it is.
it's that you're starting your day. You're giving it the what for.
You have hope.
You have
Now,
hope.
but now things are kind of switching the other way. It's like A Star Is Born, not the last one because that was shit. The Chris Christopherson, Barbara Streisand one.
That was also shit. To me.
where I've stopped winning awards, and dickhead here.
Best
don't get it
person on
out.
the internet.
Apparently, this is not something that's been bought from some sort of hooky website.
Show them the plaque.
This is
Show them
this
the
is
plaque. It's on the other
this is
side.
this is real.
Nice.
This is a thing
Best
It's
person
official.
on the internet, Katherine Boyle.
from an organisation that no one's heard of.
Wait a minute. In this scenario, Ian kills himself.
Well,
Oh shit! Yeah. Okay. Is there any Star Is Born where the man doesn't die? The male protagonist
no,
doesn't die.
the best one is the really old one with Judy Garland in it, and he swims off into the sea and is never seen again.
Okay, so maybe he doesn't die. He's a good swimmer. He ends up in Brighton,
Yeah,
and he has a
new
great
career,
he has a great
swimmer.
time. Okay, fine. I'm gonna go to Brighton and have a great time.
So
bet you
have you guys not been in contact or been in the same room or had anybody over for the entire time? Are you guys each other's bubble aside from your kids, Ian?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're bubbles. We're kind of lucky in that we get to. Oh, sorry, Keith. Didn't mean to bully.
he's just gone to deal with that feeling he had a minute ago.
He needs a catheter. That's what you guys should be doing.
That'd be great.
We
I'm actually sitting on the toilet this whole time, so
That's
no
probably
worries.
for the best.
Yes.
We've been really lucky in that I'm allowed to go and pick up the boys. So I see the boys. I see the boys' mum. And we are bubbles. So you're allowed here. This is where we do the show from.
Yeah. My
My
parents live around the corner. I can stand outside their window and talk to them, but I've not had any contact with them.
They'll
I've
let
not
you
been-
in eventually. I mean,
I've not
you
seen my
know.
mum. I saw my mum on her birthday in October. She lives in a care home, and then they kind of went into really strict lockdown again. But she's had number one vaccine. She's had her first jab. So here's my prediction: they're going to fuck up the second jabs over here.
yeah,
It's my prediction.
I think that's definitely
That's the spirit.
They've extended the gap between, like, I think it's supposed to be a month between jab 1 and 2, and they're extending it to 3 months because the science is, yeah, it should be okay. But now we're just starting to now there's a slight panic that maybe there's not enough vaccines to do that. So
And so it begins. Or continues.
100,000 dead.
Yeah.
Great Britain. Well done, guys. Well done, Boris Johnson.
Yeah, here too. It's
awful. It's awful.
ridiculous.
Incompetent leaders who are worried more
Absolutely.
about what their parties and what their donors think about them than
Yeah.
the fact that my mum's life is at risk.
Boris wanted to be popular and wanted to be cool about it, didn't he? And
And there's a poll today in the Observer, and the Tories, the Conservatives, are in the lead still.
Is this part of why you relapsed?
Because of Boris Johnson. No, but it's so bleak at the moment. It's so bleak. These people, and I know that you've had it to the cubed with Trump, and we've kind of got a similar thing in that they can come and say anything and lie and rewrite the last 2 or 3 months of history, and everyone goes, okay, that sounds fine. When we had so many people in care homes die, old people, and they came out and said, well, we've right at the start of this pandemic, we put a ring of steel around care homes, and everyone's going, no,
Like
no,
what?
No, you didn't. You were sending in people who were infected with COVID into care homes to recuperate.
they were kicking them out of hospitals
It's
and sending them
nuts,
back.
man. It's so depressing.
But then they'll say that it never happened. We never said that. And it's like, but you did.
I know we
Obviously
can do a supercut of what they didn't say. It's so
Right. It
interesting. It's
doesn't
like
matter.
our little children know how to edit video enough to show you proof of what you've said
Yeah.
before.
But the
It's
truth doesn't
gonna be
matter.
like no time before our kids are recording us so they could be like, you said. And just so it's interesting that our leaders can say whatever they want without the repercussions, because even if we are making supercuts, it's only us that's watching it, and the people who don't believe in that, it's not getting to them, or they're saying fake news,
Truth
so it doesn't matter. So how does so you guys are going through similar or very, very much the same thing. And Katherine, how do you respond to it? What is your I believe that we're all addicted to something or some kind of behavior that sort of takes us down when when things are down. What's your thing?
I think that I'm just living day to day with it. I have had moments where it got to the point where I just, oh God, what day is it again? Or, I think the fact that I've got my kids at home means that I have to get up and do the functional, practical things.
You got to walk them every morning, I hear, right?
Got to walk them. They want feeding like all the time. Mummy's lying down again. No, you've got to feed them. And then, yeah. And I don't know. I've got to a stage where I am functioning and I'm trying to do what I can do for my immediate.
But when you're not functioning, what's the thing that you go to?
And is Iain there for you like you are for him, or is the relationship exhausting?
It's a little one-sided.
It is. I just try and what do I do?
You've become, sorry to tell you what you've become. I have noticed that you have become very self-aware around behaviors that could have become problematic. I'm not saying anything that you don't want to say, but that could have become problematic, and you've kind of realized those things and gone, right, this might evolve into something. I'm gonna pull this into check now.
I kind of realized some stuff around sort of food, and that I didn't come from the most healthy background when it came to eating habits and stuff. And although I've never had a full-blown eating disorder, I've kind of tiptoed along the line. And, you know, when you've got nothing to think about but how much weight you're putting on in lockdown, it's it was tempting to think about doing some of the unhealthy sort of purging type behavior that, you know, that can happen. So I'm trying to get a grip of that sort of stuff and concentrate on just looking after myself and not treating myself like that my body's the enemy, which I kind of came to the realization that I always have done, even when I was really tiny. Here's what happened. I found a load of clothes that I'd kept in the washing basket, right, as kind of storage, because they don't fit anymore. There's no point ironing those, right? And we went away and my mum came in and ironed all the clothes, and they were all hung up. Like, there was like, it was a full room of these clothes. And I looked at them and I thought, fuck, one, what a waste, because some of these things are quite new. And two, these things are tiny, right? Tiny, tiny, tiny clothes from before. And I still thought I was fat when I was wearing them. I can't have been, but I still felt enormous. So I kind of came to this realization that I've been looking at myself through a bloody funhouse mirror, except it was less fun for a lot of my life. And it's crazy. And it's no way to live. And there are a lot of women in particular, but men as well now, especially with like social media and everyone flexing on Instagram and stuff, that live their lives waiting for when they are good enough, or when they are thin enough, or when they look better. And that's no way to live, is it? So I'm trying to eat better and counteract those kind of things. But
you women think enough generations have gone by where parents now know, like, hey, no one's going to thank me for this horrendous behavior?
I don't know, because I don't know that we know that ourselves. I don't know that we know the intricacies of what the disease is enough to not pass it along. Also, and I don't think that stuff ends. I think it just you learn a different reaction.
Do you know what? When you notice it, though, you really notice it, like all the time. Someone, you know, people in my family saying to my daughter, who has been brought up to eat healthy and to be encouraged to be strong and be told that she's important and clever and all these things, when someone comes in and says, oh, look at you tubs, or don't eat any more of those sweeties, you'll get fat. I never brought that into my house, but that was something that was happening all the time. So no wonder it has an impact. And also that was part of the humor of us growing up, wasn't it? There was always a fat kid in a comedy show. There were, you know, and so I'm aware of it. I'm doing what I can to make sure to sort of counteract what is going on with my kids anyway, because now they're online and stuff.
But we'll be fucking our kids up
in a different way that we're unconscious of.
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, apart from how fucked up they're going to be because of the 2 years, hopefully 2 years just, of COVID and lockdown and masks and all of that, that's going to cause problems. But also we'll be doing stuff that we think is great. In 20 years' time, my boys will be in therapy going, my dad used to do this.
Maybe we're too nice to them.
We're doing, you know, was it Philip Larkin poem? They fuck you up, your mum and dad. They don't mean to, but they do.
Yeah,
that's kind of what we're doing. All I can do as a dad is try and correct the mistakes that my dad did, and I think I'm pretty much doing that. But also, you know, my boys know that I'm an alcoholic. They know that I'm an addict, and we were able to talk about that because there was a Ant from Ant and Dec, who's a TV presenter over here.
Do they go to Alateen?
Say that again. Do they go to Alateen? No, they don't yet. But we were able to have a really good conversation because this really famous guy had been an alcoholic. And I said, oh, guys, do you know why I don't drink? And it's because of this. So they don't, but they know I go to meetings. And when I went to rehab, I said, I'm just going to go and stay in a hotel with some alcoholics for a few weeks, and we're just going to talk about why we don't like drinking.
Yeah,
that's all they need to know at the moment. But they're already seeing that there is an alternative should that ever happen.
Because what we've both worked out is that shame is at the core of all of it, right? And so having a dirty little secret or something that you think you can handle by yourself and people would judge you for just allows it to grow. So
I love my kids.
Anyway,
I love my kids.
Fun times.
I love my boys. They're making me laugh so much today. They're adorable.
But yeah, with the whole.
I'm sorry. Catherine, do you love your kids?
That I tolerate them, but I live with them all the time, so it's a different scenario.
Right.
I adore them; they're really good fun. But I would like to be on my own a little bit more. And at this point, I'm barely alone in the bathroom.
How old are they?
They are 10 and 8. No, they're not. They're 12 and 9.
Whose kids are you talking about?
Whose kids am I living with?
Jeez, you're like my dad with random kids all over the place. That's weird.
But yeah, my 12-year-old is getting kind of teenagey, and I have to remind myself that she's still a kid because some of the conversations we have are quite, it's like talking to a friend, but I have to remember that she needs a mum first,
Right. That's a crazy balance.
Yeah.
But good on you. Even with Iain in your life, you're able to manage all this. That's great.
Well, I'm trying. And I try not to see the big tangles in life. I just try and unpick each little knot as it happens.
Katherine has saved my life several times. There's no doubt about it. And I'm so sorry for the shame that I have caused, and the hurt that I've caused you when I've had about 6 or 7 use-ups as part of my last relapse. And every time
6 or 7 what? Sorry?
Use-ups. Little
binges.
Okay.
Little binges.
Little binges. Weekend, and Katherine is generally the first, sometimes the second person that I have to phone up and go, I've fucking done it again. And I get no pleasure from punishing you like that. That's a really shameful, horrendous thing. And I'm, the fact that you're still sat here with me and holding my hand, metaphorically, we can't touch, but the fact that you haven't, or maybe the right thing is to tell me to fuck up. I don't know, but you have always been there for me, and I'm really sorry that I've hurt you so much doing all that.
When you talk about that, when you say you're punishing me, you're not punishing me.
No, I'm punishing myself, but there is an element. I'm not doing it to punish you.
I worry about you.
Indirectly, it is.
Actually, Hemda, you helped me out with this a lot a couple of years back when we had a conversation, and you talked about I cannot cure it. I did not cause it. I cannot control it. I found that really handy. And I've been looking at a lot of kind of Al-Anon groups online and stuff, and getting a lot of strength from that. And boundaries. You know what? I care about you and I worry about you, but I cannot live my life trying to save you because it ain't going to happen.
No. I'm very empty at the moment, and I'm going to say something. I love cocaine. I love cocaine more than I love you. I love it more than I love I love it. I love it.
Why? What's great about cocaine?
Because it takes me out of myself. It takes me out of myself. It stops me feeling, and it kind of freezes time. Logically, I know that there is, if you weren't in my life, I would easily and almost happily carry on doing cocaine until I didn't have my boys in my life, until I didn't have this house in my life, until I was fucking homeless. I would go that far because that's what it does to me, man. That's where it would take me. And I wouldn't see it as a problem until suddenly I'm living on a park bench. And that's not an exaggeration. That would happen. I'd be living on a park bench and go, oh, shit, how did this happen? But I love it. But I can't have it in my life.
Do you see it as impossible to not relapse again?
Do I see it as impossible?
Mm-hmm.
Oh God, no. I'm like, I'm a month and a half away from the last time I shoved cocaine up my nose. I'm that fucking close to it, man. I'm that close to it. And every day I get a daily reprieve. And hopefully today I've got this, and then I'm going to cook us and the boys a roast dinner. I'm going to go to an AA meeting with a friend tonight. So tonight, touch wood, I'm not gonna pick up cocaine. I have to renegotiate tomorrow. I never thought I had 13 years clean. I thought I wouldn't pick up. Then suddenly I'm smoking meth at some guy's house that I've never met before. Then I had 2.5 years clean, and suddenly I'm buying cocaine. I'm terrified at how close it is to me.
Can I ask you about anonymous meetings, or is that
You can ask me? Yeah, of course.
Did you ever have a sponsor?
I've had a few sponsors, and I'm trying to find a new sponsor, and I've just asked 3 people who have all gone to their sponsors and come back and said, no, they're not really in a good enough place to take on a sponsor. So I've asked 3 people. I'm looking for the 4th person to ask, because I want to do the step work again.
Did you ever go through the entire steps?
I did 8 and 9 kind of officially, and 10, 11, 12, I didn't do it with a sponsor. I kind of stopped. So yeah, I didn't really do those last 3. And now I'm feeling shame. Now I'm having shame coming up at saying that.
No, but what I'm hearing is you did that amount.
Yeah.
And so you will do it again.
Oh yeah.
And now you know how you do it properly.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you go through the 12 steps, Katherine?
I read Russell Brand's book about the 12 steps. So I think it's a kind of 12 steps abridged version, but I think it's something that everyone can use. Everyone's got a thing that threatens to pull them under if they give into it. I really believe that. And so, I read it thinking that I was informing myself so I could back you up, but actually I helped myself by reading that book too.
Is this gonna sound like a really fucked up question?
Go on.
Do you enjoy this, Katherine? How much he needs you, and how much he turns to you, how you're the phone call.
I am glad we have I'm glad we have a conversation about stuff that you wouldn't talk to anyone else about. I'm not happy about the way things are, obviously.
But you could walk away. It could be implied that you are getting something out of this toxicity.
No, because I don't think that maybe
you're giving it to her right now.
Am I?
Watch it. Yeah, we're watching you give it to her by going like, yeah, you saved my life a million times.
Yeah.
That might be a
no,
joke.
but I don't see that that's the way it was. I don't think that I did. I think you're sorting yourself out, and I'm hoping that I'm standing here hoping that I'm going to watch you win at some point.
But again, I understand what you're saying. That is kind of putting something. I'm saying it from a place of love and a place of gratitude. But yeah, that is kind of putting a little something, but maybe a big something. Am I doing it now? It's good but this is the great thing. It's good. It's uncomfortable, but it's good for me to have this stuff pointed out.
But this is not me pointing it out to you.
No, this is what it is.
This is me talking to Katherine about it.
Yeah.
Like I am definitely not pointing out that you shouldn't do it. This is the way that you're reacting to it. What I'm relating to Katherine in that if someone was talking to me like that, it would make me feel good while I'm feeling bad. And that's what I'm addicted to. So it would be like this is fantastic to be so like let's talk about mine and Keith's relationship. He's an addict even before he was admitting it, even before I was admitting it that I was an addict. It made me feel good to go, Keith's the fucked up one. I'm standing here on my own 2 feet. If it wasn't for me, this wouldn't move forward. And even though I don't even want to admit that I thought that, it was a thought in my head that it's good because I don't have to recognize that I am not doing stuff for myself because I'm doing stuff for Keith. Yeah. And that makes me such a good person. And then I don't take the responsibility for myself. And then when things go wrong, I know exactly who to blame. And that's Keith for putting me in this position, for giving me the drug that I want. And I start getting angry with him and I still act nice. And then I act up out of nowhere. So all of a sudden he'll get like, you never do anything right. But meanwhile, he's just being around me like he's always been around me. There was a thing like after we broke up, there was a huge feeling for me of he's going to die without me. And that that made me feel really angry. Like, why is this my responsibility? And then I would see things like people would ask me about his calendar, and I would fill that role until I had to, like, it was so difficult for me to be like, call him directly. And if he doesn't have friends because he doesn't know how to manage his calendar, then I have to watch him die of loneliness. And that's very uncomfortable for me. And guess what? He did it just fine. And he knows how to do it just fine. But it's very difficult to watch, to say, if he falls, if he dies because I'm not around, that has nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
See, Iain, look at these two fuck ups.
I think she's saying that I'm supposed to blame you, Keith, for everything. I can give it a go. Yeah, okay.
It's a really interesting thought. And one I'm going to take away because I don't think there is a quick answer to it. There is probably part of me that does feel validated by being needed. There probably is. I mean, everyone's going to feel like that, right? Right? Validate me. But also, I think this is why I'm trying to look after myself more, because I realize that I can't put all my emotions and all my energy and all my fear and care into someone else and slowly destroy myself. You know, I've got to be around for my children. Yeah, sure. But I need to be a decent, whole human being as well. And I can't put myself on the back burner. I'm not a perfect person and I'm not a saint. And you know that there's only a certain amount I can do. And I have to keep that in my head as well. I can't be the person driving over here at 3 a.m. because I just want to check he's still breathing. You know, like when you've got a new baby and you won't let them sleep because you're kind of, I just need to check that they're too quiet now. You spent all day trying to get them to sleep and then they're too quiet. But no, I can't do that. But I did go through a phase of being hypervigilant and that was bloody awful.
It's scary to be there. I don't even know if Keith knows this. I might have mentioned it, but like I mentioned it so fast, hoping that maybe no one hears me. But I would, at the time of that very dark space, I would check into our chat room because that's where he was spending his time to see if he died.
Yeah.
Like to just see if, and then in order for me to stop doing that habit, I made myself believe that someone on that chat will get in touch with me if he died. And I have to like take that first step. And then I have to not worry about if he dies, I'll find out the next day. And that delay was very, and I don't know if Keith, you're listening to this going like, who the fuck are you? Like,
No, I get it.
What's your problem? And like, you know, why don't you check if you're dying? But it's really scary to see someone push themselves.
And it seemed to, I think how honest can we be? I think the big thing about this last one, the really frightening thing was he lied to me, properly lied to me. I was in the house. It was in the house. He knew he had a plan, you know, whereas before it's always felt like he waited till I was out of the way and he had a lonely weekend and he could possibly cover it up. You know, we had plans for the following day and he did it anyway and it won. And that's the terrifying thing. I realized that all the sort of safety mechanisms we put in place, like you call me at this time or we'll do this and then you won't be able to use and all this stuff. All bets were off at that point. So now I have to, like I say, you know, concentrate on what I can do and realize there's certain things I can't do, but I'm like I say, I'm sitting beside you hoping you're going to win. And
here's the insanity. I just did a sigh then because do you know what I was thinking for a second? That cocaine was fucking great. That's where my head goes. I'm not doing that as a joke. Honestly, you're telling that horrible story. And for 2-3 seconds, I'm thinking, that was great cocaine. That sigh was me going, get that fucking, and I have to be vigilant.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry to tread on your story there, but that's, you know, that's where I'm still at.
Yeah.
That makes sense because let's say like, you know, because food is an issue for a lot of people, including me. And if you're telling me like these M&Ms are bad for me, they still feel good in my mouth. They still feel good swallowing. They still feel good everywhere. But the after effects that I have to deal with that, you know, you got to buy different size pants. You got to, you got to look in the mirror anyway, and you got to be presentable as much as you want. But if you think back to the M&M, I don't know why I'm using M&Ms. I really don't.
By the way,
they are good,
Iain, wait until you try these American M&Ms.
Can you get me some, Keith?
I can be addicted to M&Ms real good. But yeah, they still felt good. It's still, if you had it in front of you, you still want it again. You can't be convinced that it doesn't taste good when it tastes good.
Yeah. Yeah.
But man, cocaine is amazing. Sounds amazing.
I also have evidence, having had 13 years clean, and the first 10 years of that I was clean. The last 3 I was slowly going nuts. But I know that the obsession, which is me thinking about it in bed, that passes, that will go. The compulsion, which is where I just have to go out and buy it, that's not there today. It might be there later, it might be there tomorrow, but it's not there today. So I have faith that this stuff works. I just need to do it. And it's at the moment it's still such early days. I just need to get through today. And then, but
what do you think about other addicts? Like when you're in the
hate
room?
them. It's so boring. Just fucking man up, you fucking snowflakes. Jesus. What do you mean? What do I think about other addicts?
There are times where I don't want to go into an Al-Anon room because I am thinking, shut the fuck up. And it's rare. I'm lucky that it's rare because I really like my home group. But for like one of the weeks, I'm like, I don't want to hear anyone talking about how their mother affected them, how their boyfriend is affecting them, or any shit like that. I don't want to hear about God. I don't want to hear about just for today. I just don't want to fucking hear it. And I do think thoughts like, you know what? Maybe if we all stop thinking about how these other people are affecting us, we could just shut the fuck up and go about our day. So that's my anger towards it sometimes. But then if I actually go in the room, it doesn't really sound like that always. But there have been times where I'm like, I'm going to fall asleep listening to your life story.
There are some people I don't like in meetings. Some people I think are assholes. Can
you tell if people are lying? Because this is what I love about addicts. Like, I love that they have the best bullshit meter on earth. That's what it seems like to me. I've seen Keith call it, and I don't know if you have it, but I know that in a room of Al-Anonics, we're like, maybe it's this and maybe it's that. And I feel like because he went through this, that this is happening. And I see AA people going like, yep, that's bullshit. He's fucking drinking, obviously.
But we're both good at sensing bullshit through doing our job as well. Maybe that's part of it, what Camden was saying. But we know if we're going to get a prank call, we can tell from like the first hello.
No,
if it's
the
going to
name.
Quite often the name, but also just the first couple of seconds, whether it's going to be someone that's going to come on and at some point go, you fucking queer, or whatever, but that's kind of what I get. Yeah. And Katherine gets horrible, the recent kind of prank thing is kids are finding it funny to phone up and just say the N-word. That's the new prank. But our bullshit detector with callers is fucking spot on.
It really is.
Spot on. We know.
It does help to have a talk show, like to talk so much that like you now hear so much. That's really helped. And it does help, honestly, to be with an addict to get that muscle tuned up, because I'm like, no, maybe we should let them speak. Maybe they're coming to their point. And Kitty's like, they haven't come to their point so far. They're not going to come. The bullshit has started from the start. And I've trained myself to try to look at it that way. Like, let's not give everybody the benefit of the doubt when logic isn't there. Like, at least that.
Well, that's got to be what's so, frustrating to the ladies, I have to assume, is when we would bullshit them. But yes, when it comes to not a loved one, it's like, now I can tell the story is missing a step. You're never going to come clean. And it's just a talk show. Who gives a shit? Me and Kendall will talk to each other. In terms of
meetings, if I'm feeling, spiritual and plugged in, I just feel sorry for them that they feel they have to do that, that's where they're at, that they can't be honest. And I feel sorry for them. In terms of what's great about doing the show on Twitch and not the radio is as long as they're not coming on and being, racist and stuff like that, that's a straight, get the hell out of here. But someone phoned out. This is horrible, right? And on the radio, we sort of got cut straight off. And this is what they were expecting. And this is horrible. I don't mean to offend anyone. Someone phoned up and said, yeah, I got loads of bitches on my dick. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And on the radio, that'll be, okay, thanks. Really sorry about that. And then Katherine, then what did you say?
I said, gosh, how have you managed to fit in the time to call us? And then we had this whole conversation. And I said, I don't know if you know how dicks work. And then and then we asked him to name the bees on the D. and he included our parents. Well, your parents,
My parents,
but not mine. My mum was
brothers.
quite offended.
Yeah.
And then I said,
He's expecting to get cut off at every line.
Right.
We're just going with this.
and
kid.
then sort of towards the end, I said something like, well, you better get back to that imaginary. Oh, no, he said his mum was dead because he'd asked about our mums, obviously, despite the fact that apparently he was boning them as he called us.
Well, there's a lot of people in the way.
Exactly. It was like some kind of dick skewer he had going on. Kebab. And then I asked about his mum, and his mum died. And a lot of the time, I find that these guys who shag your mum have often got dead mums themselves.
Which
and I said,
explains it.
is that why you're replacing real affection with imaginary sex?
Yeah.
And then he got quite upset, didn't he?
It's lovely, and this is one of the joys of doing it online is we can go along with that because it's not governed by the rules of the radio. Also means I can sit back and it's just a joy when she's going off. There's a guy that phoned up the other night.
I think they expect me to be good cop, and it's always a little bit of a shock when
the guy that phoned up to say he hated me, hated every show I'd ever done, hated me on Twitter. So I didn't say anything. And Katherine dealt with it. And then this guy's getting really angry that he's talking to the monkey, as he sees it, not the organ grinder. And I'm just pissing myself while you just firing him down. It was beautiful.
There was
to be a part of.
There was some serious obsession going on there. And I very gently managed to coax out of him that, maybe it wasn't compulsory to watch and get in touch with and expect a reaction from someone
Let me talk to Iain.
That you can't stand. It's a little bit.
Let me talk to him.
Strange.
Stop talking to me. I want Iain. It was brilliant.
It was very weird.
Beautiful.
And then he wouldn't stop calling, would he?
Okay, called all night. Yeah. Strange, man. The internet's strange. People are strange.
Yeah. And now they get to be right in touch with their strangeness and reach out to whoever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck that.
I find it really interesting. I before maybe I would have got defensive. Now I get curious with people. Why would you say that? Because when we first came on, like Twitch being a visual medium, there were a lot of kind of personal comments about me, about you, all that kind of stuff. And now when people come on and call me a fat bitch, I want to talk to them about why they're so cross about what I look like. I mean, obviously I'm upset that they don't want to have sex with me. I'm assuming that's what they're saying.
Nobody wants to hear that, I'd still like to know.
It's funny as well. We're creating, you know the show. We're creating this kind of silly little thing where it's nonsense and it's kind of helpful, and we don't really go. We've probably been more political on this than we have been in the last month of our show. And yet people want to come in and throw out the N word and call her a fat slag and call me a queer and all of this kind of. You think, why? Just go and live. Go and read a book. Go and watch a film.
It's all on them. A happy person does not behave that way on the internet. Why would you go and bark in the street at strangers? You wouldn't do it, right?
Right. And Keith has helped me take things less seriously. And just, if there is a caller like that, I'm just like, how could this be funny? Because it's so absurd that if I start taking it seriously, I've now entered this idiotic world while Keith is leaning back. So I'm watching that going like, wait, that means that there's an option here to lean back. Let me try that option.
Yeah.
Someone's just in the chat, hashtag bees on the D.
Hashtag bees on the D.
Let's get that trending.
Yes.
I want bees on the D trending.
What did you do this weekend? Oh, bees all over the D, man.
Good for you. Here's some salve. If you guys got a couple more minutes to stick around, I'll introduce you to our friend Maria Wojciechowski.
Oh, yes, please.
How you doing over there, Maria? Come and say hi.
Hey.
Hey,
How's
there
it
you are.
going? Hi.
Hi, Maria.
Hi, Catherine and the boy Pippo Tally-ho.
Pip Tally. Are you wearing fingerless gloves, Maria? Are you cold?
Oh my God, and freezing. Yeah. My house has the worst heat, so lots of cold air is seeping through the windows at the moment.
Well, the winter should be over any day now, so. Oh my God.
How are you dealing with this COVID stuff?
I'm actually doing very well.
Other than the deaths, you're doing pretty good?
Other than the deaths, I hate to say it, but my mental health has been fine. My bowel movements have been regular.
Good. Nobody tell her that she's inside wearing outside clothes, and she'll continue feeling good about her life.
I think you are due this then. In that case, if you're managing to win COVID,
Yeah,
Well
congrats.
done.
Person on the
Congratulations, Maria.
internet.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
What is it? What anxiety gone that you don't have to see people? What's good about it?
I think that I have bad anxiety all the time, and having everyone else meet me at my level feels comforting. Like,
okay, everybody's nervous, right?
Yeah, it's nice to see everyone else having mental breakdowns. I feel like, thank you for joining me
Right.
in hell. Like, it's true. Misery loves company. And
so now you're the new normal, and you're like, oh, I've been this way all the time. Now we're all normal, and you can't point a finger at me anymore because you're here too.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Granted, there has been very hard times, and I've like lost a friend recently. And like, there's been horrible things that have happened.
Lost a friend to death or to, I don't want to talk to you anymore.
Yeah, to COVID. So it hasn't been good. I'm not saying I've been good. I'm just saying that, like, you guys know me in my bipolarness. Like, I've just been okay. Like, I've been able to handle emotional stress.
And it sounds like part of this is the American Doll clothes. Is that helping? What's going on over there?
I've been trying to learn how to sew because I was making my own masks. And then I was like, oh, I want to make my own clothes, but I didn't want to spend a bunch of money on like 3 yards of fabric. So I started making American Girl doll clothes, which is only a half a yard of fabric. And it's been a lot of fun. I made a Bernie Sanders doll after that meme. Been putting them in lots of weird clothes, but
that's really it's so interesting. So this is how my mother saw America before we came here. My mom actually sewed all of our clothes in order to save money. She's a really good seamstress. She went to high school in like some sort of like vocational learning how to sew things. She was really good, and she made all our clothes. And then when we got here, I was 4, my older brother was 6, and my younger brother was 1. And the difference in pricing for just the material was so giant that she's like, it actually cost less to buy clothes that were already made.
Oh yeah, it's insane. Like at my fabric store down the street in my neighborhood, I mean, if I buy like linen for myself to make something, it's like 4 yards is like $30 or $40. But if I buy the same dress online, it's like $10. So it's definitely not
because when you're the slave, you recognize the cost. But when you buy it from slaves, it costs less.
Yep.
Hey, shout out to all the children out there.
Big up the fast fashion industry. I'm a big fan of it. It's great. It really does work.
Yes.
Well done, everybody.
One of the biggest murderers of our time. Thank you, everybody. But we look good.
When you mentioned bipolar, it made me happen to think about this. Is there a pill, Iain, that you take once a day, let's say, and if you did coke, you vomit profusely? The way they have for alcohol.
Sounds awesome. I would love to find out more about that. I don't think there is a drug. There is one for booze, isn't it? I can't remember what it's called. But for me, it's in there, and it's in there. That's where the change is. No medicine's going to take it. And if again, there's part of me going, what if I did coke, I could throw up at the same time? This sounds fucking awesome. You know, insanity.
Okay, just checking.
I don't think there's any drug, Keith, but I'm happy to do some experiments with you.
I do
the
like
Shark Tank, Keith.
I do like the addict to addict workaround. Follow me on this. You do cocaine, but
I punch you in the balls
right after, and then I feel like it shoot like
right. Punch in the balls. I mean,
you're not averse to that either.
It work. Everything's working for me. You know,
I get turned on by coke and blah blah blah. Right.
How's your bipolar stuff working? Are your meds working? Are you
me? Yeah.
So you found the right ones.
Oh yeah, I've been pretty relatively stable now for a few years, so that's been good. With some dips in between, but for the most part, I think I have a mild case. I don't have addiction issues, which I think makes friends who have it coupled with addiction issues, that's its own thing. I'm very lucky. I think mine's relatively mild compared to others.
So what do your dips look like?
Usually like a depression. So just like,
are you mad that it's not the manic part? Because the
manic
I'm not more productive.
No, it's hypomania is the productive one. I've had mania, which is what got me diagnosed. It's a nightmare. It's not fun because
I don't know why I'm trying to make it fun. Like, let's say you get the fun one. Are you good with the fun one?
Yeah, I find I like to not be a burden on others, and I find depression, I'm a burden on myself, but mania, I'm a burden on everybody because I'm out in the world just gabbing away, annoying the shit out of everyone. So yeah, I would rather, personally, I don't know, I'd rather have hypomania for sure because that's the productive one, but that leads into mania for me pretty quickly. So I don't really get that fun.
It's funny, isn't it? People think, like, I mean, I know you're joking, but people do think, well, mania must be better than depression, and sex addiction sounds like a lot of fun, you know, and
right.
They're all shit. They're all shit, you know. It's just different. Yeah, it might look fun running around shagging and doing stuff, but it's still that pain that's going on in there.
Absolutely, and it's a bit more self-destructive in an active way.
Well, it's all bad decision after bad decision because it feels good in the moment.
Exactly. Yeah. So I guess I could understand, you know, the addict sense in that way, because you kind of do get that impulsive, like, I don't know.
Yeah. It's funny. Keith used to ask me, like, are you sure you're not manic depressive? And I was like, that is so rude. I'm going to go sleep for 12 hours and think about what you said to me. That is so terrible. I'm going to yell at you for no reason out of nowhere. And you're supposed to understand where I'm coming from.
My therapist, my first therapy session when I was like 24, immediately she was trying to lead me down the bipolar path. And I was like, I know what you're trying to say right now. And that's not true. I'm like, oh, wait, yeah, it was true. But also, come on.
That's funny. I get offended when my therapist thinks I'm okay. I'm like, oh, clearly I'm fooling you. I think you need to ask me the right question. And then because I'm just like, oh, I can't be good. You can't think I'm good, or you need to, like, I hate to say it, step up your game.
Right. Well, isn't it weird, by the way, you know, we're talking about all these different problems that we have, that speaking of the 12 steps, Iain, that more than one of them are about God. And it's like, well, great job, God. A.
Yeah.
B, we're all made in his image, and this guy has a multiple personality disorder, right?
Yeah.
I mean, whether it's politics or our mental problems, I'm like, how we're all from the one image?
You've gone straight for the Judeo-Christian God.
I was about to say, God has multiple personalities as well, so maybe you are.
Right, there's three up there, right? Yeah.
And actually, Keith, you're the least godlike because you only have that one personality you keep holding on to. So... Mm-hmm. So we are very godlike. In fact, I think you should call us Jesus.
I mean, and if you read, you know, the Old Testament Bible, or, you know,
then you've made a mistake and wasted your time. But yes,
he's definitely got some borderline personality or bipolar or something happening over there.
He's definitely bored up there going like, let's see how much Abraham really loves me.
Well, it's like playing the Sims.
Abraham, do you love me or do you love your son who's just a little baby and is going to let you cut up? And by the way, climb this mountain. I hear you lived until 100, but you could make it. God's on your side. Get going, big boy. Oh, you're here. The traumatic part has happened. Okay, you ready to kill your son? Fully ready? You will do it on the count of 3. 1, 2. Just kidding. Thanks for loving me. This is the best day ever.
Feels
go
good to
down
serve.
that mountain. Yeah. You did
my gosh.
Good. High fives.
It is like playing The Sims. When you're playing The Sims, you take away the ladders in the swimming pool so they drown in there. You know, you kind of like you let them set fire to the kitchen. That's what you would do as a god.
And you know, Abraham's walking down the mountain. He twists an ankle. He's like, motherfucker. One more fucking thing. Why are you so angry? You twisted your ankle? It all adds up.
Also, the flood was like a rage quit. Now we're on Twitch. I can talk about these things. So the flood was like, right, it's God throwing a tantrum and saying, right, fuck you guys. And then it was all over and we all had to pretend that we were grateful.
Right.
Yeah, the rainbow, though. Come on.
It was a good rainbow.
Yeah.
So we have adopted that very nicely. I like that he was like, I don't like you. And everyone's like, me. Yeah, all of you. Yeah. I don't like all of you. There's a dude, Noah, and I guess he could bring his wife. And I love that he brought 2 of every animal. Like the giraffes fully got along with all the squirrels. Everyone got along and they all mated very well to create more animals. Everything worked out so
right. Every animal, like none of the animals had like fertility issues. They all just happened to be.
No gay animals. They all
No
fancied
gay
each other.
It was a
Right.
great boat. It was a very magical. I mean, I think they were giving out Molly to everybody just to make sure that we can just continue life.
Yeah.
This ark is rocking. Do not come and knock
That's
it.
right.
That's important for the world, right? And then what are you doing out there, God? I'm just going to kill everybody. Men, women, children, the disabled. Fuck them all. Today, different day, I'm going to kill all the firstborn. Because what did they do? Fuck them.
when I was in grade school, we used to have this like guitar singer come to our school to put on performances, and one of his songs was about how the unicorn got accidentally left off of the boat, and so
Is that a true story?
I've heard that story. I've heard that story.
That's
Yeah.
awful.
yeah.
That's why we don't have any unicorns.
Fuck, I didn't know that. That's broke my heart.
We're singing along the song. We're like, but the loveliest of all was the unicorn, and we're all just singing about how the unicorns just got like wiped out.
And the unicorn sang. And they were on their way.
But if the unicorn would show up when we said, then the boat wouldn't have to leave without you.
Fucking stupid unicorns.
Yeah.
They deserve it, pricks.
Stupid snowflakes. Ow, I'm drowning. God doesn't
Man, the
love
fuck
me as
up,
much as
unicorn.
me. Yeah. Why do you have that horn? Use it. Now we got to make Jews out of you. Fuck. That was a horn. Okay.
Well, that escalated quickly.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
my.
yeah.
All right, sorry,
On that
guys.
bombshell.
Well, thanks for joining us. I appreciate it very much. So, Iain, you're
Hello?
gonna finish those final steps, right? Except
Yes,
for that
I'm
God one
I'm
we
getting a
just
new
covered is
sponsor and I'm
silly.
doing it. Yes.
All right, very good. And I think that's it. And Catherine, you got problems too. You want to help too much, you know?
I got
so-
some, yeah. And Bill, next time I'm just going to go tell him to go fuck himself.
There you
In fact,
go.
I might go and buy it for him.
you throw it at him. Do it.
Ria, it's very, very nice to meet you. I would
Nice to
suggest
meet you.
just leave now. These two they've fucking lost the plot today. It's just go. It's not helping anybody. This will not lead to a better gig. No, you're not going to get any new followers. It's bullshit. It's not even for charity. It's for them. Fuck them.
Look at it. He's just trying to keep you off the boat, fucking Captain Ass.
Yeah, all right.
Can I do a rage quit?
Sure. Go ahead. There you go. Catherine and Iain, thank you guys.
I'm so shocked and appalled. I didn't see that coming at all.